Joining us in the studio today is Tim Westergren, co-founder of Pandora and the Music Genome Project. Tim, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
So what inspired you to create Pandora and the Music Genome Project?
Well, I'm a musician myself, so I'd spent many years before this company trying to make a living at it. So I was really inspired by how could I sort of harness technology to make life easier for working musicians. Had spent a lot of time sort of thinking about music taste and the construction of music, why people like what they like, why music has the impact that it does, and so on. It's kind of a very deliberate approach to musical composition. And I had the idea one day to try and sort of codify that and build sort of a discovery technology that I thought could really impact the sort of lesser known artists.
How can conservatives that want to further their message utilize Pandora to do so?
Well, so Pandora's become a very large service. We have close to 70 million people coming to Pandora every month. And when you register on Pandora, there are 3 pieces of information you provide: your age, your gender, and your zip code. So Pandora knows those 3 things about a lot of people across America. In addition to that, we know their musical preferences because they're thumbing up and down songs on an ongoing basis. So it's a perfect platform to reach and target messages to constituents, to do it on a hyper-local level or a national level.
Are there any policy or legislation battles happening on Capitol Hill that are of interest to you and your company?
Well, the primary one for us surrounds the licensing system for internet radio. Right now, there is a set of laws, a patchwork of law essentially, that has led to sort of a discriminatory system that puts internet radio under a different and much more punitive standard than other forms of radio. So we compete with satellite, we compete with cable radio. We are subject to a much higher royalty burden, and it's a direct function of laws that essentially are picking winners in this space based on technology. So that's kind of a primary issue for us right now, getting that fixed.
How do you see some of the changes affecting the music industry now? How things are being marketed and monetized, and specifically the switch to digital media too as an outlet?
Sure, I think it's been a mixed bag. Obviously, there's no secret that the demise of the CD has really been a problem. But I think on the other end of that, digital offers a lot of positive benefits. The first is, I think it's giving access and visibility to a huge sea of artists that didn't have it before. So in the case of Pandora, we have over 100,000 artists on the system. Over 70% of them are independent. So most of that's music that's never been played on radio, never would have. But in the world of digital, in the world of personalized web radio, all of a sudden they're on radio, and in some cases to very, very large audiences.
How do you see Pandora within the musical landscape in comparison to its competitors?
Well, our space has been notable for its lack of competition, ironically, and I think it's a function of this royalty system that makes it a really unattractive destination for investment. And ask any investor right now about sort of internet radio music space, and they'll tell you it's not attractive. There are services on that are adjacent to this, so there's a lot of investment in on-demand listening, but that doesn't really compete directly with Pandora. We have close to 80% share of internet radio. We're kind of alone. We'd like to change that. I mean, competition is good. I think it would benefit everybody, create a bigger pie, create a lot more opportunity for musicians. So it's lonely. We want more people in it.
Yeah, definitely. Tim, we appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And for the Heritage Foundation, I'm Jackie Anderson.